in the world that's sitting there waiting for you. You must make your...
Hello, I'm John Birchall and I present a radio show on Radio Bath called the Jazz, Soul and Funk Collection. I play a range of 70s and 80s disco and soul. I play the jazz masters, and I also play up-and-coming artists and play a bit of hip-hop, bossa nova and chill as well. So it's quite a wide range of music. But one of the things I love to do is meet the artists, and I've got the honour today of meeting Omar MBE. So Omar, welcome, and thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
That's great. Well, I hope today we can talk about your musical life and your inspirations, and maybe talk about your background, how you work creatively and any challenges you face. And I think one of the things I'd love to hear from you is any advice that you would give to up-and-coming new artists. And we can also talk about the new album, which is fabulous, and your tour. So, well, let's get into it. So, Omar, I'd love to hear about how you started and how you got into music.
I've been learning music since I was about 5 years old. My father bought me my first drum kit. And from then on, it was just like a range of different things. I got a cornet when I was about 7 or 8 years old. So my first brass instrument. I progressed on that, from that to the euphonium to the tuba. At the same time, I had piano lessons. I was playing percussion in the youth orchestra. Played with brass bands, brass quartets, choirs. Pretty much a lot of those things until when I was about 14, 15. That's when I started to write my own songs. And then my first release was on my father's label, Congo Dance, when I was 16. So, yeah, quite a few different experiences led me up to that first moment.
So was it a big thing having your father in the business? I mean, was he a big influence in the early days?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, it was his studio that I first recorded in. I learned how to bounce, or go from tape to tape and stuff like that. And also to have, your dad runs a record label, and it's kind of easy to get the source to get the music out there, because he'd release stuff with his own band called Ja Lion, which is a reggae band. And my younger brothers had a band called Burning Bush, which was very, very much like Musical Youth, where they played and sing and write their own song. But mine was the first soul music to come to the label, so very useful.
I mean, that was interesting because reading about your background, you had a sort of quite a classical education and training, didn't you? So before you got into Neo-Soul, you're a multi-instrumentalist, and you went to the Guildhall School of Music, and you went to music school in Manchester as well. So
yeah.
So what led you down the sort of Neo-Soul route? Was that something that was always part of what you wanted to do?
Well, when I was starting, it wasn't called Neo-Soul. It was just, the first label that I had gone to after my dad was called Talking Loud, and that was the acid jazz era. So basically, it was us trying to create the music that we were so used to listening to. The James Brown funk, or the Donny Hathaway soul, or Stevie, that kind of music was the sort of thing that we were trying to do. So, long before it was called Neo-Soul, it was acid jazz. And it was like-minded souls like Young Disciples, Incognito, Brand New Heavies, Galliano, Soul to Soul. We're just trying to create that music that we love, but putting an English spin on it, and I think we did pretty well.
No, absolutely. And, I know that you had a couple of early releases, I think, before you had your real breakthrough release. I was reading about, was it Mr. Postman and You and Me, and that featured Karen Wheeler, I think, from Soul to Soul.
Yeah, it didn't feature Karen Wheeler. She did backing vocals on it. It actually featured,
she did backing vocals.
Yeah, it featured Vanessa Simon, who was also my label mate at the time.
Yeah. And then, of course, in the early 90s, the real breakthrough, There's Nothing Like This, which, what a fabulous track that is. And I know you released it, as you say, on, I think, with your father, on your father's label, but then you re-released it. Yeah. And that's when you got sort of chart success, I think.
Yeah, that's when we went to Talking Loud. And that's when it went international as well. which is kind of part of the reason why we took it to what Talking Loud came to see us, but we thought it would be the right time to do it because we were national with my dad's label, but yeah, like I said, Talking Loud took it international.
Yeah, one of the things I'd like to talk about during our chat today is some of the challenges you've faced in the industry, because I know that dealing with labels is a real difficulty for artists. You know, often their commercial objectives don't match the sort of creative objectives of the artist. Did you find that when you were dealing with labels in the industry?
Yeah, well, the major label was Phonogram, who were like the the house label that Talking Now were under. They weren't really that keen on using the same budgets as they did for their like rock acts as they were for because soul music was kind of a small thing at that point. So we had those battles to do, but you just get on with it. You don't have to sit there and worry about it and make it a problem.
So did you find as an artist, even though you were with big labels, you still had to do quite a bit of the running to sort of, to push yourself to the front?
This is what I'm saying. I wasn't with the big label. I was with a subsidiary of that label. So when it came to their artists, if they were like the main, on the main labels, in their side track, in their tracks, then they would have, paid more attention to me. But I wasn't. So that's how it happened.
So there's nothing like this. I mean, you must have a lot of affection for that song. I mean, obviously that was the one that really broke you through as an artist, and you obviously still perform that. I mean, how did that song come about?
Well, I was going through my dad's record collection, and I came across this band called the Ohio Players, and an album called Skin Tight. And on that album is a track called Heaven Must Be Like This. And at the time, there was nobody playing that kind of music. This was bass, drums, keys, guitar, and the whole orchestra, and that kind of thing spoke to me. Growing up playing in orchestras, listening to soul music. So I was like, I needed to recreate something or create something that's akin to this. And that's how Nothing Like This came about. If you listen to that song, you'll hear exactly where the influence is.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the band. I'm sure I've played a couple of their tracks on my show, actually, but I will look that up. But and obviously since then you've released quite a few albums. But I mean, obviously that debut album achieved much success, more than some of the following albums. But I think I know the album you've just released this month. I'm sure you're going to get massive success with that. And of course, it's called Brighter the Days, and I would really advise anyone watching this to go on to one of the streaming platforms and listen to that album, because there's some great tracks.
Still, go into Bandcamp and buy the 12-inch. There's there's a gatefold vinyl album as well, which I know a lot of people are collecting those things as well.
Well, I think these days vinyl is coming back in, isn't it? I mean, there's quite, because I think people, apart from the music, they like to have an item which sort of combines with their interest in the music. And I'm certainly going to look at getting that particular album. So do you want to talk about the new album now then? Because it'd be great to sort of talk about, I know you've got quite a few artists who have collaborated with you on the album. I'd love to hear more about it.
Well, it's been a labour of love since the last album was 2017, Love and Beats. I've just been putting stuff together. Then the pandemic hit, and that gave me just a whole wealth of subject material. Because there's a lot of dark moments there. Not people weren't allowed on the streets, like see their families, bury their loved ones. So a lot of people struggled through that. But through that, I got a lot of creative ideas. And then when it came to writing the lyrics, I got Vanessa Simon,
right,
who I mentioned previously, to write the lyrics to six of the songs. And then when she came up with the phrase "Brighter the Days," I was like, "That's the name of the album."
Yeah,
because it was all about looking for a time which is going to be better. We're going to be out of this depression. It's going to be something much better for us to look forward to, even though it's getting a bit crazy, third world war times right now. But at that moment, it was something for us to look forward to, and it was very fitting for the album.
And I noticed there are sort of 18 tracks, so quite a lot of work went into the album. has it taken sort of a few years for it all to come together since the pandemic then?
Yeah, that's just how long it takes. You know, I have to be comfortable that every track is actually finished to the nth degree, and you know, it's like putting a puzzle together. You have to be able to listen, you know, start from the beginning and don't stop listening till the end. There's no fillers. There's no seat fillers or anything like that. Every track has got to make sense, and yeah, I finally managed to do that.
It's interesting. I having listened to the album, I've played a few tracks on my radio show, and I love the title track, "Brighter the Days." "Can We Go Out" is getting a lot of success, but I also like "There's Much Love in the World" as well. I think that's probably my favourite. Do you have a favourite track on the album?
No, they're all my babies. You can't love them one more than the other. But yeah, no, the whole album it's been a sort of an evolution for me. I keep saying it's my magnum opus, even though I'm certainly not done. Like I'm halfway through the next album as we speak. But yeah, "There's Much Love in the World." That's a special one. I mean, they all have special moments. You know what I mean? It depends on what kind of mood you're in, what kind of mood you need to get out of or get into. There's a track to fit that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, absolutely, and no, I think it's a great album. I mean, I'd love to know a bit more about. I mean, you've collaborated with so many artists over the years. Can you talk to me about that? Some of the people you've collaborated with, who you've enjoyed working with?
Oh, I've enjoyed working with everybody. You know, everybody makes sense in terms of the songs that I've put out. If you want to talk about this album, well, Paul Weller was he was my first professional gig when I was 18, and played percussion for the Style Council. We toured Japan, and did a gig at the Albert Hall. And I'd sort of realized that I hadn't worked with him like in terms of writing songs together. So I spoke to my friend Max Beasley, who's still in touch with him. I said, I'm trying to get hold of Paul. Spoke to Paul, and he was like, "Yeah, come to the studio," and we put some stuff down. And then, he let me use his studio, bless him, for like 3 weeks, a month. It was crazy. And yeah, so a lot of this album wouldn't have been done if he hadn't got involved. So great.
And what about? I was quite interested in sort of. I was reading a little bit about Stevie Wonder, who I'm a great fan of, and to be honest, he was one of the artists, along with Earth, Wind and Fire, that got me into this music back in the 70s. But I understand Stevie Wonder sort of expressed an interest in your talent, and you've had a sort of connection with him. Did you go on tour with him or something?
I didn't go on tour with him. No. I did a show with him, a French TV show. Called Terra Tata, and I've seen him in various venues. I supported him in Hyde Park when it was Songs in the Key of Life tour. But yeah, we've been in the studio together. I've known him since '92, so 33 years. I've had a relationship with Stevie, and yeah, it's everything that you would wish it to be, because he's a performer. He likes telling jokes. But you see him on the keys, on the drums, singing. Do you know what I mean? It's the Stevie Wonder show, and it's everything it's meant to be.
It's amazing, isn't it? I saw recently a video or something on Netflix. I don't know whether it was Netflix, but when the Motown artist first came over to the UK in the 60s, and I think Stevie was about 16 at the time or something like that.
Sure.
And he's been around since then. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, long time.
Okay, so I wanted to just ask you about America, because I mean, it seems to me that your brand and style of music should really go down well in the States, and I know you're about to go on tour over there. So do you have many connections with America? I know a number of American artists have expressed an interest and talked about your work. So
yeah, I've had a relationship with American artists since I started, basically. And I've managed to utilize that. On this album, we've got Ledisi, India Ari, Raheem DeVaughn, Eric Roberson, J. Rue the Damager, Ronnie Foster, Daru Jones on drums. So yeah, my relationship will always be going over to the States. I've just done some tracks with Jazzy Jeff, as well. I've been working with Mo Better, Morris Brown, Common is also,
Yeah.
I work with Erica Badu, Angie Stone, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Goes on and on.
Got some great artists there. And when are you actually you're going over to the States this summer? Are you?
Yeah, I just did a mini tour in January, which was 6 dates, and now we got 11 dates coming up in July. If you go to omarmusic.co.uk, that's the website. You see all the dates put there, basically. But I'm really looking forward to it, because it was a great 6 dates in January, so this will be even better. And it was freezing then. It was freezing then. It'll be nice and warm now.
Probably too hot.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great opportunity also with the timing of the album release. It's absolutely perfect timing for that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
What about really keen to know about your inspirations, I suppose, and which artists you listened to growing up and who you listen to now. I mean, be interested to know about that.
Growing up, I was listening to Level 42, Jeff Lorber, Dennis Brown, John Holt, Stevie Wonder, of course. So it was a mainstay. Yellow Magic Orchestra. I mean, it was quite wide and varied, as well as playing classical music. And right now, I'm kind of listening to Anderson .Paak. Who's the other one I was saying? Pharrell, Pharrell. Yeah. I love Neptune's, NERD, because their stuff is organic and classic. You know what I mean? We're still playing tunes that they did 25 years ago. And
there's lots of sampling these days, isn't there, of older tracks?
Lots of that, but they play their stuff straight. You know what I mean? There's no sampling.
Oh, so, right, okay.
Yeah.
So what, you think their music is reminiscent of the sort of stuff that was played years ago?
It's similar to what I do, you know what I mean? It's playing the music as opposed to sampling and sequencing. You know what I mean? You can actually have great musicians to play the music for you or play it yourself.
Yeah. You know? How do you put tracks together? Is it the music that comes first? It sounds like you obviously use lyricists as well, but I mean, is it always the music first and the lyrics afterwards?
Yeah, that's always the way it's worked for me. Is the music first, and then you get the melodies, and then you have the words to fit the melodies. As I was saying, with this album, I kind of ran out of things to say, so I asked Vanessa Simon to help me out with 6 of the tracks, and it's just worked out perfectly. And no AI, all right?
Yeah. Well, that's a real problem, isn't it? Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, to be honest, it could be a massive problem for the music industry, but I mean, I'm a lawyer. It could be a massive problem for me as well. So, it's be interesting to see what happens. But the key thing is the protection of young artists. I mean, at the end of the day, my son's trying to make it in the industry, and I know how tough it is and how much sweat goes into a sort of producing music. And to be ripped off is the last thing we want. We need to protect artists.
Yeah, exactly. How we go about that is a whole other thing.
Well, exactly. Yeah, we'll find out, I suppose. It's your 40th anniversary, and that's what the album's celebrating in the industry. I do meet and play a lot of young and up-and-coming artists, and there are so many out there. I'd be interested to hear what sort of words of wisdom and advice you would give to young artists, because I'm sure they'd love to hear what you've got to say.
Well, you just got to know about your craft. You have to find a way of standing out from the crowd now as well. I mean, especially with this AI thing happening, you just need something that people are going to remember you by, and just trying to find your own lane. Because I see a lot of people trying to do the same thing, or it's formulaic. But I find it that if you're in the now, then you're going to be past. You know what I mean? If you just concentrate on music that you like and that other people are going to respond to, that's part of the game and part of the battle. Is just to be able to do that. I managed to do that for 40 years. So I give thanks for that, and it's because of my stubbornness. You know what I mean? That I just this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it, and that's how it's going to be done. So
really, it's being true to yourself more than anything else. Do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. 100%.
It was funny. I think I saw a David Bowie interview, and he said, "You do your worst work when you're working for somebody else."
Sounds right.
That does seem to make sense. So no, that's a really useful piece of advice. Okay, well, I'd love to sort of just find out from you where people can get hold of you, Omar, because obviously what with social media and the various streaming platforms, how can they reach out to Omar, hear the new album, and how can they find details about your touring, etc.?
Is what I'm saying. So go to my website, omarmusic.co.uk, or my social media, the shop, merchandise, tour dates, anything you want, is all answered on that website.
Okay, great. And I'll what we'll do is when we release this, we'll make sure that all those details are there for everyone to follow. So Omar, you know, it's been absolutely great to have a quick chat with you. I know you're a busy man, and so thank you very much for agreeing to see me, and also for providing so much fantastic material for us to play on the radio.
My pleasure. Thanks, John.
All right, Omar, great. We'll look forward to seeing you soon. And, oh, by the way, just before I go, are you playing in Paris at some stage fairly soon?
I am playing in Paris at some stage fairly soon, but like I said, go to the website and you'll find out. You'll know more than I do.
Okay, I only asked because my daughter lives in Paris and it'll be a perfect opportunity for me to come along. So I'll look that up myself.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, Omar. Well, great to see you, and good luck with the tour, and thanks for everything. Thanks for all your wonderful music.
My pleasure. Thank you.
See ya.
Just wondering to myself,